Hey everybody from SFO Airport. I finally finished the write-up for my latest vlog on the Oakland Raiders work with Las Vegas Sands and Majestic Realty to build a stadium, or at least get approval to build a stadium in Las Vegas. This latest news is not good. Basically, Las Vegas Sands, there is the focus of a report put out by Reuters today, Friday, September 30th, that outlines in detail money laundering activity that has occurred at the Venetian and Palazzo this year, according to the Reuters research by Schectman and Qing. And it basically states that the Chinese gambler has come to a point where their role in the revenue generated at the Las Vegas Strip has been incredible. In fact, 75% of Las Vegas high rollers are said to be Asian, primarily Chinese gamblers who play baccarat to the tune of $1.3 billion in revenue raised over the last 10 years. 10 years. And the common practice is to use something called Shills so that common gamblers' expenditures do not go on paper. This is how it works according to Reuters. Commonly, women are the persons who sign up for what are called markers or casino credit. They go into a baccarat room, which is really sparsely attended. They sit next to the actual gambler, and their name is used as the credit so that the gambler's name appears on no paper whatsoever. None. There are a couple of examples of this provided in the Reuters report, and it goes on to give an example of Xin Gong, who's now in a Virginia jail, but he was the focus of an investigation that started in 2006 actually, and resulted in the discovery of $207 million in cash in his house, which then triggered an investigation which led to a lawsuit against Las Vegas Sands that Las Vegas Sands settled for $47 million in 2013. Now, he was one of the people using this type of shill to obtain these markers. It says that at the time, Las Vegas Sands reported that it would watch its expenditures and its player activity more carefully than it had in the past. But get this, folks, this investigation by Reuters is this year. Las Vegas Sands paid $47 million in 2013. That means Las Vegas Sands has continued its practice and basically has gotten by with, considering the amount of money they made, not a slap on the wrist. Sheldon Adelson, let's talk about Vegas. Sheldon Adelson alone has made $29 billion, and the vast majority of that revenue that he's made has come from Macau and also from Chinese gamblers playing baccarat over the years, worldwide. So this has been his bread and butter, but it's also, for all practical purposes, saved the Las Vegas Strip from what would have been tremendous declines in revenue over the past 10 years. That's the reality. So there's a lot of basically looking the other way in order to maintain these giant revenue gains that have been enjoyed over the past decade. Now, what does all this have to do with the Raiders? It's very simple. When Mr. Gong gambled at the Venetian, he lost $84 million in one sitting. $84 million. And at that time, it was said, well, okay, we have an accounting issue, we should have caught. We had no idea of his business activities. But that was in 2007. This is 2016. I repeat, the practice is still going on of using shills to shield the identity of gamblers and leave no paper trail. Which means that Las Vegas Sands could very well be, perhaps unknowingly to them, but hey, look, they go look the other way because they're making a lot of money. Some of that laundered money could have wound up in planning for the Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas, thus setting up the very scenario that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has been concerned about, although he didn't say it in those words. He said he was trying to wrap his mind around the NFL being in a casino industry town, words to that effect. But the bottom line is, this is the first media, if you like, expose of how money is made in Las Vegas and how it's been handled, or if you like, mishandled by Las Vegas Sands. And this is part of an active lawsuit. I personally am surprised that there hasn't been a Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organizations Act lawsuit filed to this date. What that means basically is that, okay, you as an organization are not doing criminal wrongdoing, okay? But you're acting as a front for it because it makes you a great deal. In other words, you're looking in the other way. Could that happen? I don't know. But the bottom line is, this is the kind of scenario the National Football League wants to avoid, and it's upon us. That's the story. Stay tuned.